Dune Awakening's closed beta has come to an end, and with that, I want to discuss the incredible time I had over 13 hours played during the weekend. The beta did a fantastic job of setting the tone from the very opening seconds of the game, entering a dimly lit room with a Reverend Mother at the end of it, as I, the prisoner, was about to create the look of my character and choose the class I liked the most. After doing so, the Reverend Mother used the voice and subjected me to the Gom Jabbar, a test of humanity and ability to control one's instincts. Failing would result in immediate death. I was given my orders by the Reverend Mother and sent off. After my ship was shot down, I was dragged away to be left in a cave. Upon waking up, I gathered my bearings along with a few small items within the cave. I instantly liked the gameplay that immediately transitioned into cinematics. The cinematics themselves were smooth and also blended into an in-game-like cinematic that allowed for dialogue prompts, much like The Witcher 3. After the full tutorial side of the beta was done, it was time for my first real steps on Arrakis, which were immediately met with Shai Hulud, the massive sandworm itself. The kit from the tutorial got me set for the beginning of the journey ahead, allowing me to use a laser cutter for material gathering, a basic Chris knife to somewhat defend myself, and my Swordmaster knee charge ability, which throughout the whole beta I absolutely loved. I was able to one-shot enemies in the early stages with it, and also use it as a getaway ability too, since it would send you flying. Now I am interested to see how this will actually work with early game PvP as well, since it wasn't available at all from my experience until I went much deeper into the desert around the 11-hour mark. The overall feel of the gameplay, from fighting mobs and clearing their camps, material gathering, and combat, felt surprisingly good for a beta, optimized enough to enjoy the entire experience without game-breaking bugs, but with just enough jank to keep the laughs going. Now the jank was pretty typical, T-posing players from time to time, capes and other pieces of longer clothing stretching throughout the world for a few seconds, or just phasing through your feet as you walk. Another funny one was when exiting the sand bike, the driver would exit like 10 feet away, but it would only do that if the driver was solo and not if another player was on the back seat. The game also had some very typical visual bugs, like textures not loading properly for some areas, other areas looking like Play-Doh for 10 seconds, and a few others. But none of them lasted very long and didn't seem to take away from the experience, at least for me. Personally, I don't really remember much other jank than that, and the game didn't crash at all for me, so now let's talk about the crafting. Dune Awakening's crafting is smooth and snappy. You have the ability to craft pretty basic items like a Chris knife, some common rag-like clothing armor, an entry-level pistol, darts used as ammunition, and little bandage wraps in addition to other small items from the very early stages of the game. It was nice to see the basic starter items accessible from your own menu, opposed to needing some form of a crafting bench just to get started. Although I'm not the craziest builder by any means when it comes to these games, I do have a few friends that are crazy good at building very nice looking and functioning homes that always have me in awe. The builds themselves are easy to put down once you have the item building tool, and they slot into each place nicely. Now I wouldn't say, at least from the beta, the building can get as crazy as something like Enshrouded, but it most definitely can get pretty detailed, especially as you level and unlock new recipes with research points from completing the story quests. Next, I want to talk about the contracts. Some contracts can be picked up from looting, and others are given from NPCs you meet along the journey. These contracts look like going and collecting so-and-so item, returning to the NPC, or trade post drop-off to deliver them, and then obtaining whatever the reward was. Pretty standard stuff, and although that sounds simple and possibly boring, the places we went and what we encountered during the completion of these contracts was truly awesome. There were many dungeon-like areas where we got to raid an entire facility or ship, going from floor to floor, looting chests, fighting the guards within those areas, collecting key cards to walk through locked door barriers, and finding lore notes in the form of audio transmissions throughout these places. I was in pure shock when I saw just how much you could do and explore within these places, how many rooms and things there were to find. Even one area had a completely secret room accessible by a book on a bookshelf. These locations weren't one-off, go here, walk in, grab item, and leave, but more of a whole experience on their own that felt unique and got me so invested in what was happening within them that I totally forgot it was mainly just for a contract. It genuinely felt interesting, fun, and worth it to explore these areas fully rather than just go in for the contract item. As for the world, Funcom did an incredible job with capturing the world of Dune. The feeling and eerie music that plays as you sneak through raider camps or go in guns blazing. The sandworms that emerge from the very sands you walk on, making for a nearly impossible escape if you were caught along their path too long. Even the facilities, ships, the night sky felt like Dune. Also, your equipment and gear, futuristic enough to look otherworldly, yet familiar at the same time. The sand bike was one of my all-time favorite items to use throughout the beta. Being able to find them out in the world, beat up and low on fuel, just enough power left in them to give them a try. And the full experience once I was able to build my own, picking up speeds across the sands, alerting sandworms to my location, and trying to dodge them as best as possible, even though one time I practically drove right into the mouth of one of them. This genuinely felt like Dune, and it's just a taste from a closed beta. I seriously have to tip my hat to Funcom. As you continue playing, you find higher tier items, like stronger weapons, equipment to double jump, and others that allow for nearly all fall damage to be completely negated. Now, this isn't Dune without spice, so for later gameplay, you need spice-infused items. And if you're not deep enough into the desert just yet, you can find small quantities of these items through dungeon chests and whatnot. Throughout the beta, we were able to experience the first 20 hours of content within the first main area of Haga Basin, and go a decent bit further into the deeper desert before reaching a force field letting us know that was the furthest point the beta offered. Though the Dune Awakening beta wasn't perfect in every single way, it left a lasting impact on me and made me want to play more. If a beta is able to do that, that's a really good sign. Now yes, Dune Awakening was supposed to release on May 20th, but I'm happy Funcom made the tough choice to push the release to June 10th, allowing them to make final adjustments, tweaks, and any extra polishings that were needed in order to make our first real steps on Arrakis the best experience possible. Now, what are your thoughts on Dune Awakening's closed beta? Did you play it? Did you enjoy it? What are your likes, dislikes, and/or concerns? Please let me know all of your thoughts in the comments. Your time is incredibly valuable, so thank you very much for spending any of it watching and/or listening to me explain what my experience was like within the Dune Awakening closed beta. And before you go, I have a Bible verse for you. It comes from the book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 29, and it says, "Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers." The impacts that we're making on people's lives could be either positive or negative, and oftentimes we don't realize the power that we have within our own words. Are we using that power to build up and to encourage one another? Are we extending grace to others when they make mistakes just like we have a million times? Or are we tearing people down, discouraging them, and spreading hate? Let's live this life in a way that honors and glorifies God, in mind, body, and soul, in word, action, and thought. I promise you, Jesus loves you, He is for you, He is with you, and we have the greatest opportunity in this life to reach as many people as possible for Christ, letting everyone know the love of Jesus. So let's do that today, and God bless you. I'll catch you in the next one.